Hello everyone and welcome back to another amazing epic on Setons Clutch. We've got a balanced 4v4 today. All the players are between 1 and 1.5k. Team 1 is in the top right, Team 2 is in the bottom left. Let's go around and look at our players. Starting off in the corner here, we've got Cold for Fear in that very icy, cold looking white com. He's going land first, but he's going to be making air units and fighting over the North Pond. So we've got Mr. Science at the front here. So he definitely prefers the front in that red edgelord color in his Cybercom. And he is in a consensual team relationship with the power bottom down here in pink. Taking up the rear there, that's going to be Mr. Blastman. So these two working together, we'll see how that works out for them.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
On the beach slot, we've got Spoon-FDZ, really reminding me of those early Fast and the Furious franchise movies with the Honda S2000s. Is there a spoiler on the back of that Seraphim ACU? No, there is not. So that's team 2 in the bottom corner. On team 1, and immediately moving to mid, it's our German parliamentarian, Wenzel Schmidt. Look at him. Glorious. He's off there to make some laws. Is that what they call them in Germany? Laws, or are they bills? That's more of an American thing. Oh, down here, we've got Shoot to Kill. Now, with Shoot to Kill and Cold for Fear, are there other players with a name and a number, and then another name? Perhaps Girl 1 Cup? Does that player exist? We will never know. He is going air all day, by the look of this. Air, and then land. He's going to be trying to get his island. At the back, making P-gens around his mexes for that adjacency bonus, it's SC NoNa, or Nanny. So SC clan here, they are going up against the boys, the men here. And on the beach slot, we've got OE Emperor in this Aeon colored com. He is the only Aeon here today, representing the way.
I say the whole world must learn of our peaceful ways. By force.
He's going to be making those devastating destroyers that we see so much of. And that rounds out our players. So we'll just kick the speed up a little bit as we wait to see the first plays. It looks like we're going to have an island steal attempt here from Spoon immediately. That is fairly quick at 2.5 minutes. And he is going to get beaten there by Shoot to Kill. We'll have to see who manages to take and hold that. Normally, you would assume that with an early head start like that, an advantage, Shoot to Kill would be able to take that much quicker. He's gotten there first, and he's basically landed at 3 minutes, which is, I think that's very quick. Normally, you see people loading their transport at 3 minutes, but he is already there.
It's free real estate.
In the middle, both the ACUs here, about to start tickling each other over the reclaim.
He's just standing there. Menacingly!
Now, if you wonder why I haven't got the cinematics mod on, that's because this replay is actually a little bit old. It's not the... let's put the map on so you guys can keep track of what's going on over here. But this is the island steal attempt. He went for a PD, then no move here. Seems to be slightly AFK. Oh, the big brain reclaim. Look at that. He's going to slurp up the factory. Will the Mantis get out? Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be very close. But the Mantis is going to get out. The Mantis should come up here and fire. But it walks straight into the engineers. And that's, well, that's just a free meal for these very, very hungry engineers down here. The PD is going to be finished, but the engineers are just going to leave. So, this island is very much contested. I actually quite favor the favor Spoon here. Shoot to Kill should rebuild this on the wreck for double speed. Absolutely. Okay, he gets a radar. That's a good play. In the middle, yep, the comms are still approaching each other. Why is he reclaiming this factory? He placed an air factory on the land factory. That might have been a bit of a misclick there.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
So, Tech 1 radar, land factory in the open, and a Zooey versus, what, an air factory that could maybe make a Jester? I think this is going to be stolen here. You may disagree with me, but I think this is going to be an island steal. Especially if he could just move this and kill the engineers. That would be a really good play. Oh, Spoon, you absolute Chad. Look at that. Pow. And the next shot, bam, there. Didn't even wait for them to reload. What a god. So over here, Cold for Fear has landed his island. He's got 6 engineers making land factories, collecting mexes, as you would expect. It looks like Shoot to Kill actually tried to use his transport to slurp up mass in the middle, but stealing mass from his ally here, the poor Wenzel. But Mr. Science does a really good turn for his opponent here and just kills that engineer before it can steal any reclaim. So nice guy, Mr. Science there. And it looks like we're going to see Mass Mantis, potentially. That's the only unit being built. You do want to see some Tech 1 artilleries. They are very effective against the commander. So you may be asking why I'm casting an older replay today, and the reason is that this game is absolutely epic. This is the highest rated game ever played, ever recorded on Forged Alliance. It's got so many 5-star reviews. It's got 100 5-star reviews of players thinking this is the best replay. So, full disclosure, I did try casting this game about 2 years ago when I first made a YouTube channel, and it was garbage. Literally garbage. I could not do it at all. The audio was terrible. I had a webcam running. It was just absolutely... It was just cringe, to be quite honest. But I feel like this game deserves better. So I do kind of remember roughly what happens, but I haven't seen this replay in at least 18 months. So it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a journey of discovery for us both. I just know that it was epic. So I'm going to try to concentrate on making casts of games which are really, really epic, and then I'm going to put a lot of effort into making them worth watching. It takes about 20 hours to get one of these into a decent enough shape editing-wise, so it's good to watch. So they really need to be worth it. 5 Mantis here is 1 engineer of build power. This Tech 2 upgrade only going to take a minute or so, which is really good. Elsewhere, the map has sort of stabilized. We've got a Tech 2 upgrade here for Shoot to Kill. Eco-wise, both teams are actually very close. There's almost nothing in this. This is 1 single mex. We've got a drop here of engineers, and that's quite confusing. I don't know why he's going here with engineers, but he is. We will see how that plays out for him. Bold move, Cotton. Oh, he's just changed it. So I want to make basically casts that are going to be enjoyable for people when they do find the channel. If they come and find it, they're going to have, like, you know, a whole bunch of casts they can watch back and really enjoy. And I want to be able to enjoy them myself. Like, I don't want to make something which I feel like I wouldn't watch myself. So there might be less of them, but they're going to be good quality. And there's actually a fair bit of reclaim here. If he just PD creeps Wenzel back off of this area, the reclaim he will collect already pays for these, even without him reclaiming them behind it. That's something that Grimplex taught me the other day in defensive situations. If you PD creep, it's actually like almost worth it in mass if you reclaim the PDs behind your creeping. Just if you kill units, it actually just pays for itself. It's a pretty strong tactic on a narrow causeway like this. So a little bit of pressure from these interceptors. We're going to get the first airfight really over the top, and some anti-air assisting. It's now a 6v4, and it looks like we're going to get a drop. So we're going to get a first drop, and not a first drop, but a second. We've had first drop, yes, but what about second, third, and fourth drop? That's what we're going to get here. Emprion is, he has got a real strong transport agenda going on here. Very progressive of him. Let's see how Spoon does. Well, he actually is, he could definitely be dropping these already. He drops 2, so he's splitting his transport up. So 2 Zuis get dropped here. Tanglement of air. The Inties take down the drop, so It looks like Shoot to Kill traded all of his inties there for shooting that transport down. He's going to lose at least one mech, maybe two. Over here, we've got 3 drops coming in. Let's see how they come in. Cold for Fear is actually on defense mode here. He's got his inties, and he sees the first transport. Yep, that's well shot down. He's on the defense mode there. Does he catch this one? Yes, he does. 2 transports down. So, yeah, pretty alert here today. Cold for Fear. This transport coming in, well, there's factories over here. There's a comm here, so I guess he's going to try and land in the middle. Is that going to work out for him? It looks like it is. The Inti's a little bit late there, and he's going to be dropping off fervors for all the little boys and good little boys and girls for Christmas here. And yeah, he's going to be killing a whole bunch of mexes by the looks of things. Didn't pick this one off. Is that going to kill it? It is, so that's 1 mex down. This one, I think he should be using the... so this replay is actually a couple of years old, where the meta was a little bit different, but I don't think the target priority mod... This... a nice little victory for the engineers there, the pacifists. Oh, this one was upgrading. This is like a 90% mex. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ooh. Oh, my God, it missed. This mex is like 99% upgraded to T2. It gets repaired. What a Chad play there, repairing that mex. We've got a frigate battle off the coast here, which, if unmicroed, the Zooies will actually do very well. And that PD... Wait a minute, this is a lot of health lost here. So, there's a TAC launcher here with 1700 mass damage done. And it looks like he's landed a hit onto Wenzel's comm.
We have to go back!
So here we are in the past, and through the magic of editing, we can see he managed to load the TML with those Mantis, and he does score a hit right here.
Friendly Predator missile inbound.
Back to the future.
Those TAC missiles do 6,000 damage, remember? So 2 missiles, and that is a dead Cyberant. Talking of changes in the game, by the way. Look at this! Oh, man. Emprian, why'd you have to be mad? It's only a game.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
So instead of going for the PD creep, he's opted for a TML. He's collecting some mexes here. T2 mexes, killing them off. Looks like he's going to pick up factory. Nope, some engineer kills there. So I have been paying attention to the comments that people have been leaving. I do love the comments that you all leave on the videos. I really like the feedback on what to change, what to improve. Bless you all. I read every one of them, even the really weird ones.
Derp. Do you watch hentai?
No.
So T3 Air for Mr. Blastman. How is NoNa doing? Well, he's also on T3 Air. He's making ASF. Very sensible. Mr. Blastman says he'll be a few minutes. And what else has been in the chat? It's tough to get a game tonight. The good old days are gone. Well, Emprian, those days are indeed gone, because since this replay was casted, FAF has had a fairly large resurgence. There's a lot more players than there used to be. And I think it's really good for the game.
Oh, baby, a triple!
We've got another... So, this is the thing. If someone drops you, right, and you let them do damage... Guess what they're going to do next? They're just going to drop you again. So we've got a Lobo drop here. So possibly a counter drop. Yes, it is a counter drop. Coming into the back. It's going to land right by this PD though. That's quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate for Cold for Fear. But the navies are very small. If this was a more recent meta, you probably wouldn't see people rushing Tech 2 with like 5 frigates. The modern meta is to just build lots and lots and lots of frigates. They're just very, very strong. A T3 scout here being chased.
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am. I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Get your ass back here!
It's like a race car being chased by a pack of dogs very slowly. So I really like how Spoon basically came here, saw this island, and was like, it's literally free real estate, I'm just going to take it.
It's free real estate.
And he hasn't been dislodged yet. There's basically no counterplay here. He's now making destroyers, although so is shoot to kill. And interestingly, both mid players have opted to turtle the middle and then get into navy. More of a commitment from Wenzel, who's up to T2 and making destroyers, those Cybran destroyers. Transport dropping engineers here. We've got... Well, this is the drop coming in now. This is a... yeah, this focus on transports here is a real threat towards Cold for Fear's traditional way of life. He should perhaps possibly be a little bit more phobic of these transports. They have got a potential to do some real damage, and after the first time he got hit by it. Do we need to split? I think we might need to split because there are actually 2. Okay, so the ASF dropped 2 transports, but the furthest land up here, the counter drop is doing real damage to this PD, but that's about it. But it looks like Cold for Fear is going to lose all of his mexes. Look at this, there's no counterplay, no Tech 1 bombers. 1 Lobo gets away, so this actually will be able to do some damage. But the base is just going to get ruined. Look at the value these drops are getting. It's absolutely disgusting. What an absolute Chad play. Just flies into the ASF and drops. And here comes some more. Why not?
But wait! There's more!
Your opponent's not stopping it. Just come and drop everywhere. Cold for Fear crying out for air. Well, I think we can go back. So this, is it going to get a... It looks like this Lobo is actually going to get a T2 Mex by itself. There's also a naval battle down here, look. There's a lot going on in this game right now. Tanks killing engineers. Oh, getting a T2 Mex as well. The comm is brought out, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Mexes dead. 7 Mexes may be dead. Yeah, 6 T2 Mexes lost there. Extremely painful.
Watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now. Oh.
And we've got a Mantis run-by attempt into the comm. Now this is enough Mantis to kill the comm. Is he going to get the comm here? Probably not if he's running by Tech 1 PDs like this. So many Tech 1 PDs. This might end up being an expensive mass gift. So Spoon says that red, he is losing navy, and that's mostly because yellow is putting his resources into navy here. So they're trading a mid position for a navy position. Let's look at the eco again quickly. Well, NoNa and Mr. Blastman, as you would expect, those rear position powerhouses with the highest eco. Lowest, Cold for Fear, because he's lost half his base. And yeah, these Mantis would be doing so much more damage if there was just some more of the Medusas in the mix. Tech 1 arties are very strong. You really want to make sure if you're attacking a base like this, you have Tech 1 arties in the mix when you're attack moving. Because these Tech 1 PDs here, look, with 1 hit point, It's criminal that they're allowed to live like this in a tight formation. One artillery shell would actually hit both, or all three of them. Absolutely brutal. The navies are very small. The beamy boys, though, the Seraphim cruisers, the beamy boys, they are very good. And the frigates protecting the beamy boys from the destroyers, that's what you want to be doing, so that you can use the range properly. In the North Pond, the engagement here is going to be a lot of subs from the Aeon faction, to be honest, versus UEF. Subs are very good versus UEF. Do I need to split again here? No, we can keep it on both on one screen. So those Aeon destroyers are going to wreck the UEF destroyers if they're not microed. And over here, the Mantis are just being destroyed. There's really nothing the Mantis can do against... Look at that. The Arty hiding behind the terrain. Something you don't normally realize when you look at Setons Clutch is that the terrain is actually very hilly. If we go down and look it down here, it's basically a mountain, right? Look how tall it is. So you've got to be careful with the terrain when you're placing turrets and that on this map. See, just a few of these Medusas and the PDs are getting wrecked all of a sudden. And suddenly the comm is actually in danger, whereas it wasn't before. So good for Mr. Science there, he has adapted. We've got a transfer of some energy up here, energy storage. That's nice team play. Always want to help your allies if you can like this. If you see an ally struggling, they haven't got an energy storage, make one for them, give it to them, they will thank you. It is a team game. Let's look at the scouting information both teams have. I think NoNa has a pretty good idea of what's going on. Mr. Blastman, yeah, he's actually also got it. They're making Why You Always Make Navy here. Not sure what that's about. 30 ASF. And up here we've got 61, so huge advantage in air for the top team. Their air player is higher rated, so perhaps that should be expected. And now this land push, whilst being kind of funneled through these walls, now it's facing Tech 2 tanks and Tech 2 Navy, and there's really nothing more it can do. It's exhausted its usefulness. This is a mass donation now. Look at this. This is 10,000 mass. You see the reclaim? This is a donation here, really. It would be better to stop this and make some T3 factories, make something else. Another drop.
Another one.
Father Christmas up there in the corner on his mountain. Emperor has just dropped another round of fervors, and he's going after the Mexes again. The Janus come in, and they do deal with it, but they accidentally blow up all of the engineers.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
And Cold for Fear should probably just consider making a Tech 2 PD here. This is the third or fourth time his opponent has dropped him. There's now a standby of gunships just waiting for it. Just make a Tech 2 PD. The splash damage on the UEF PD can kill all of the units when they land. A nice pickup of a radar here in the corner. Denying scouting information. But losing those cruisers is very expensive. And Spoon really needs to keep these fights to 1v1. He really needs to try to fight one player and then another player. If they both join up like this, he's going to be in real trouble. He wants to keep them away from each other, especially since he decided to make his HQ here. That's really risky. I guess he just rushed it, but this is now quite a dangerous army because it's got cruisers, it's got frigates, there's a lot of destroyers. We're looking at 7 destroyers in here, 8 destroyers versus, what, 3, 4? He can't fight this. On the left navy, on the top, we've got patrolling ASFs that they can't be dealt with. And the ridiculous Exodus class destroyers, which are just going to ruin the UEF navy horribly. Is Cold Fear stalling energy? No, he should actually be able to get those shield boats up. Mr. Science dips his hand into the navy pond and he's making destroyers, which he can actually use to pressure this base. That's actually pretty big brain. He should probably move it here and just put it on land. But poor Spoon's navy is going to get cleaned up. Not a lot he can do about that. He's simply getting 2v1'd. He needs his ally in mid to kind of push and make advantage. Take advantage of that. What have we got here? Well, we've got what looks like more drops, so more drops queued up. So Spoon is going to try and do the dirty back onto somebody over here in exchange for his ally being bullied the entire game by those drops. Interestingly, despite losing his entire base, he actually isn't anywhere behind his opponent in mass, and that's because of the island steal, I think. A lot of units in mid now, and another tac launcher. Another tac launcher gets built. There's TMD up, but it's a Cybran tac launcher, so I assume he might be able to snipe this. The Tech 2 power. Or potentially another hit on the comm would be nice. Or even take out the Tech 2 naval yard. That would be extremely good. He's losing his destroyer, which is why I thought it might be better for him to get it on land and away. Here are the transports. What's going on there? Well, they are hovering. That's a lot of mass investment into these, to be honest. Sui's are pretty expensive. And with the latest patch, they're even more expensive in time. Torp bombers, but that's still not going to be effective with the cruiser. There's so few units here. This Tech 2 naval yard looks idle to me. Just getting wrecked by these sub packs. And looks like an attempt to overrun the middle. Mr. Science going all in here, balls deep. Is that going to work against the Cybran PD here? His comm strolling into range. I think this is just going to be another Mastination, boys. Yeah. Overcharging, Tech 2 tanks. Mantis just can't really deal with that kind of, especially not when they're flown in, they're driven in like this one at a time. That is just a massacre. This attack looking more like the charge of the Light Brigade, to be honest. Speaking of non-consensual action, we are going for a drop here into the soft, unprotected belly. But there's cruisers and inties. One gets shot down, two get shot down. The third one gets shot down too. None of them land. That could have done so much damage. He could have killed both of the Tech 2 naval HQs if he had gotten that through. And now Mr. Science is in trouble from he's in real trouble from all these destroyers. We've got the Tech 2 naval HQ rebuilt down here for Spoon. Let's check on our ASF numbers. Mr. Blastman 78. NoNa, well, he's down to 42, so there's been a significant air engagement somewhere, and Mr. Blastman has come up on top. He has successfully topped his opponent there. He's exerted some dominance. Looks like he might be about to delete some inties. Flying over the cruisers, though, not a particularly smart thing to do if you can help it. Mr. Blastman says they have no radar and no sonar. That is true by the looks of things. They have some... No, they have some radar, but only from scouts. So a good thing to do in this situation, if you ever end up here, is to try to make a Tech 2 or a Tech 3 radar. That is what's happening. You can pass it over to the air player who has a lot more E to run it. Just get it up. Get a low-level sheep shield over it. And you'll just be able to make better decisions. Intelligence is super important in these games for making decisions of where to put your units. Anti-nuke up here for Mr. Blastman, and he's working on a secondary air grid. What is the range of that? Well, let's use our mods. Bam. So he can protect the he can protect his secondary air grid, but maybe not from an edge nuke here. Are there any other strategic missile defenses? No, there are not. And that is a lot of transports. Do you ever do this? I do this a lot, where I accidentally build like 10 transports when I change to make one and leave it on repeat. Not very smart of me. We've got another chariot drop. Has it been seen? I think it has. And it gets deleted immediately by Mr. Blastman, who is on patrol there. He's determined to stop them getting through. But there is another 3 on the way.
Another one.
Again, landing here. And again, no defense. There's no PD. Just a couple of Tech 1 bombers waiting would be great, right? I think these transports are going to get through. In come the ASF. But if he throws all the ASF after these transports, then he might lose so many ASF just for killing the transports. It might not be worth it. Here's the air engage. That's gone pretty well for Mr. Blastman. His opponent had a bad turn there. 2 of the transports landed. But they seem to be going after engineers rather than mexes. That's a significant air loss for Team 1. And I don't think they got a single mex. So that was a bit of a donation there. In the South Pond, though, things are going much better for Team 1. They're basically crushing the beach, as you would expect. Spoon is responding the way only Seraphims know how, and that is spamming Zooies. Look at the amount of factories he's queued up. So many factories. He's planning to spam his way out of this problem and buy time for his allies. Up here we've got a harms dropped. Big brain. 200 IQ play here with the harms dropped on the beach. I actually thought Wenzel was gonna like 400 IQ this and be under attack from the harms and walk onto the land so he can't get shot by it anymore. And then he could kill the engineers for free. But instead, he's going to stay in the water, which is not a great plan. And does a magic trick by immediately vanishing. Nice. Yeah, Cybran players, you can just go on land to avoid the torps. That's like pro gamer move. Engineer drop here, not being used. These are Tech 2 engineers as well, so this isn't cheap. Oh, all the engineers died. That's pretty sad. But the Zooies and the torp bombers combined. Are these going after the cruisers? It looks like they are. I don't know if the torp bombers automatically prioritize the cruisers if they're on attack move. But brutal there. There's now no real anti-air in this group. So and the ASF are so diminished that Mr. Blastman will be able to shoo them away if he wants. It'd be good to see Mr. Science make a couple of SAMs to assist with this. This is still he's actually quite vulnerable to torp bombers right now. He hasn't got stealth. Can NoNa see him? Yeah, so this is really obviously a comm, right? There's no gateway, so this is obviously a comm, and he could definitely torp him. He knows he's Cybran. It would be good to see a Sam as well, in my opinion. But hey, you guys do you. Play risky, make torps. Or make Zooies and crash the entire game. That's a lot of Zooies. How many Zooies do we have here? 268.
That's quite big.
So this was actually also recorded before FAF Develop was a thing. Highly recommend that you guys check out FAF Develop if you're gonna host games in FAF. Play them on the FAF Develop kit. They have a whole bunch of improvements to the way that the game runs. Just makes it a little bit smoother. Takes away a lot of the slowdown. Highly recommended. Can we go up to +1 right now? We can. So not that bad currently. Still no anti-nukes for Team 1. But what are they doing instead? Well, guess what? It's more Tech 1 drops.
Another one.
Here we go, boys. And they are going basically for the same spot. And there's still no PD here. I feel like at this point, Cold for Fear, bless him, is he's in danger of receiving a Darwin Award, right? A Derp Darwin Award, because he has been dropped so many times in this location. He just stubbornly refuses to defend it. The only reason I can think he's doing this is if he's basically farming. It's like these are supply mass drops for him, right? Maybe he's just farming supply drops of mass from his opponent. Yeah, if only these have been put on mech's priority. Oh no, not again! Why must we suffer? The ASF can do nothing. If only these were put on mech's priority and moved around in a corner. He could have done so much more damage than that than he did. This mech has only got 100 hit points. This one's got 500. But it doesn't seem to matter. Cold for Fear is going to lose his Tech 3 naval yard here. I don't think there's anything you can do about this. He's managed to get a single Neptune out, which can kill all this navy. Look at that. Amazing beamy boy. Get off my lawn, aeons. Get beamed. Yeah, get off my lawn. The Taunt Bomber just randomly dying there. He's going to be able to clean up the units here, but F's in the chat for his Tech 3 HQ. That is a huge loss.
The letter F. This is a capital F.
Because his opponent is making battleships. Is that a battleship? No, that's an aircraft carrier, right? He's making an aircraft carrier, I guess because of the air dominance. That's pretty smart. So we've had a bit of a turnaround in the last little while. Team 1 still up on eco by about 10%, but that air loss that they suffered as a result of the air fight, which Mr. Blastman won, has really handed naval control back to Team 2. So they've pushed back the navy in both ponds here, and they actually have an advantage in the top pond. This will be a really good time to just make 1,000,000 frigates and push, but his eco is so bad due to the drops. And there's still Tech 1 mexes here. I don't know if he's forgotten about some of them, but it's a bit unfortunate. Otherwise, he could basically push and crush Navy back right now. The Neptune, really strong. Also, 31 minutes, still no nuke defense here. I guess they have scouted and seen that there's no nuke. But this is the sort of time when you start to see, I mean, telecom is definitely viable here for Mr. Blastman. It's also viable for NoNa. He's got plenty of upgrades. He is making anti-nuke, so we'll just mark that one. Make sure they're both marked. Wenzel moves his comm back, so he is going to retreat to the pond. Very sensible for this time in the game. It is when you really want to start thinking about sniping players, if you haven't done so already. And that was actually a battleship, not an aircraft carrier. And the Omen is a very strong battleship. Fast fire rate. And it's got pretty good projectile speed as well. And one of these bad boys is not good if you're a Neptune. Mr. Blastman is asking for a UEF engineer. Well, it could be Mavor time. He's on 500 eco. And look at all these Zuis. There's some Yenzines mixed in as well. That is a lot of Tech 2 factories. How many Tech 2 factories is this? Well, my friends, it is 53 Tech 2 factories. That is a lot of Tech 2 factories. And even without sonar or radar, although the Omni appears to be up here. Is Mr. Blastman stalling? Yeah, the radar, the Omni isn't running because he is stalling power. Unfortunate. Stalling power because he's doing an anti-nuke. But the Zuis and Yenzines are going to push this navy away. And the reason for that is because it's mostly cruisers. Like 90% of the army here is cruisers. If this was frigates, the same mass in frigates, I think you'd be able to crush. I'm not sure why Shoot to Kill has been allowed to keep these scouts circling over the base like this. I think a Tech 1 anti-air would be a good investment right now if you're Spoon. He's got no shielding. No, he's still got T2 mexes, but he's got no shielding in his base here. Just a couple of SAMs right now would be a pretty good investment for all the players, I would argue. Yeah, and this battleship is going to really hurt the Neptune if it gets a chance. Do we have any experimentals on the works? Well, Wenzel has started a Monkey Lord. Empyrean has started a Tempest. So how's that going? Well, Monkey Lord here, along with another anti-nuke. And the Tempest of the Lake, what is your wisdom? Build frigates. Good wisdom, Tempest of the Lake. Nice to hear that one. So the Spider, hard to say how effective that will be. I think if it comes too close to the Navy, it might get blapped by destroyers. That's the problem with putting a Spider down the middle on this kind of a map. We've got two engagements. We've got Yenzines and Zuis versus mostly cruisers. And we've got Yenzines and Zuis versus mostly cruisers. Absolutely fascinating here. If somebody's spamming Zuis and Yenzines at you like this, you want to be microing and you want to be spamming frigates. Also, probably Neptunes would deal pretty well with this because of their accuracy. They can just beam from a really long way off. They'll kill a couple of Yenzines in a single beam, probably. Surprise! Welcome to the intermission. You are now halfway through this epic cast. Can you guess who's going to win yet? This is a great time to get yourself a drink, a snack, or remind yourself that games like Raid Shadow Legends are absolute garbage. Or that VPN services don't actually protect your kinky porn searches from three-letter agencies. If you enjoy these casts, why not leave a comment below with a timestamp to your favourite moment of the game? That way, I'll know what to make more of. Here's a couple of bonus memes. I hope you enjoy the rest of the cast. So we are 34 minutes into the game. If this was Gap, there would probably be a Paragon finished already. But alas, there is not. We have a fairly large air grid for NoNa, but not anywhere near as big as it would be in a modern game. We've got 2 air grids here. This one is paused. Is this a... This is a strap. Is this a... No, that's an ASF. So he's got one that's producing... One with this power adjacency and one that's mass fab adjacency. I'm not sure how efficient that is, but it's working for him so far. A lot of gunships waiting over here for the next drop. Will there be another drop? Well, there is plenty of... over in Santa's grotto over here, where Eprian decides to manufacture his fervor toys, and then he basically delivers them to Cold for Fear here. Cold for Fear has been very bad this year. Instead of getting coal, he's actually getting fervors to ruin his mexes, which is even worse. He is now going for a shield. Good to see, he's learned. And this push looks like it might actually ruin the naval production if it's not careful. Obviously, Shoot to Kill was able to retake his island here, which means that compared to his opponent, he is actually up nearly 100 mass. So he should be able to push, really. A battleship in production by Mr. Science, who has his comm in a fairly vulnerable place, I would say, up here. I mean, if the Navy moves in and the Spider moves in, it's kind of hard to see where he'll be able to go. He's also pretty torpable. Like, Solaces would kill him in, like, what, 4 Solaces? 3 Solaces kill him in a single pass. It's pretty sketchy to be at the front like that, especially without stealth. So only Cyberans get the stealth and the cloak comm, but in the new patch, stealth actually gives you an extra 2,000 hit points. So if you are Cyberan, there's really no reason not to get it. It's a very strong upgrade now. You never know when that little bit of extra hit points will come in handy. Another gateway, so it's going to be boys. In pink, Mr. Blastman is doing a UD here. He's making boys and he's chilling. The Tempest of the Lake is moving out, ready to dispatch some more wisdom to our players. Like,
modern microtransaction video games will never be as cool or rewarding as old school RTS titles.
It's difficult to deal with the Tempest. You need lots of battleships if you're UEF'd. Mr. Blastman also in Navy. He's making sonars, and if he upgraded this one to T3, it would come with a huge stealth field. The Cyberan stealth, the Cyberan's T3 sonar is very, very strong. Lots of Corsairs being built, and I think these Corsairs might be to deal with the Spider. The question is, when he sends the Corsairs, will they kill it in a single pass? Or will they need a second pass and get ganked by the ASF? So both players move at almost exactly the same time. Some ASS have been split off. So this is like a tactical play here. Maybe. So the Spider is wrecking these PD. You can see on the map the ASF are hovering. It looks like there will be a decisive engagement. Here come the Corsairs. NoNa takes the bait and rushes in. The Monkey Lord is going to die. In come the ASF from behind, but they're a couple of seconds too late. But it's still going to be a decent first pass. And the game is going to slow down to -3. Please play on the FAF develop kit, boys. The Spider has 2,000 health, look. These Corsairs will probably finish it off. Yeah, the spider goes down. If only there was a few, if only there was some glorious SAMs here. It looks fairly even right now. But this will decide the next 10 minutes of the game for sure. Whoever wins this fight is going to have absolute dominance in both ponds. A decent turn by Mr. Blastman there. They're both microing. You can see them clicking to micro their air forces here to try to get behind their opponent. Oh, if only Mr. Science was building SAMs. So it looks like Mr. Blastman has needed to run away there. And he's going to get chased all the way, getting shot in the arse here by NoNa. This is
Get your ass back here!
not consensual, this kind of action. It's considered a dick move. And what's going on in here? That is the balance. Not sure what Spoon is complaining about here. But the spider did go down, so the threat is mostly over, really. There's just some Tech 2 units here that can be cleaned up. Pretty sad that these ASF have been left to... Oh no. Oh no. Why must we suffer like this? They're hiding with safety in numbers, but... That's so sad. It's just not been noticed. So over here, the Yenzines are being pushed back by a lot of cruiser fire. And in immediate response to that air win, NoNa has produced quite a few strats here.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
That is an attack ping right down here onto Spoon. Look at this. His comm still in the open, still no shields. These scouts giving some great information, great value there. Great value but for a shoot to kill. Again, if only there was some SAMs here. Mr. Science, please. He's got one Tech 1 anti-air. If he had put some SAMs here, this would have gone very, very differently, this air fight. And he'd be able to shoot down some of these as well, I think. So the bombers are coming in. Poor Spoon's comm. Well, he must see it. He's trying to go to the water. Well, he's getting stuck on his buildings.
I'm in danger!
Well, here come the bombs. 4-5 have dropped. That might be enough to kill him. Here come the bombs. It's going to be GG. Spoon gets deleted by the air player there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Just wasn't enough ASF to shut that down. GG in the chat, so thank you, Spoon, for being nice. And this is going to go over to Mr. Science, whose battleship seems to be doing quite well here, defending. Where did those bombers go? Well, I think the strat bombers all died. There are a couple of SAMs up here. There's a few. Well, really only 7 and they're here, so not a lot of SAMs. The Yenzines are still moving into the Navy down here. Huge reclaim fields to be had for anyone who wants them. And again, when the enemy ASF are in your base like this, try to get some... Is this battleship going to be okay? Mr. Science's comm might be in trouble here. That's a lot of units coming in. They're primarying the battleship, which is dying pretty quickly, actually. I think it's just going to get primaried to death. Look, that's bullying. It's not even going to get any vet. Oh no. Poor battleship. Mwop, mwop, mwop. And yeah, Mr. Science's comm is in big trouble. Most of the destroyers are dead, but there's still 3 here. That's definitely enough to kill his comm if they can see him. They can just kill them with the torpedoes. He's just out of range.
Just do
He's
it!
going for the harms
Make
instead.
your dreams come true! Just do
He
it!
actually could have killed the comm there, I think. He only had to get him out of the water, and then the rest of the boats would be able to finish the job. Maybe they're being tactical and don't want to finish him off. They don't want to give all of the eco to Mr. Blastman. But that many destroyers, 9 destroyers, is actually killing the harms here. He's trying to repair it, but that's not going to work. His comm is in real problems here. It's hard to see how he's going to get out of this. He could simply right-click the comm here. Look how much damage he took there. Team 1 not showing a real killer instinct here to kill Mr. Science, who just decides to leave. Just strolls away. Doesn't even look at the explosion. A random strat here going after a naval yard. Be nice to see a bomb here instead. But it's just going after random units. Another gateway for NoNa, and he's making his own secondary air grid. A really strange setup here. He's got a lot of these mass fabs adjacent to all of his stuff. So I guess this was the meta back then, is to make a secondary mass fab air grid. And we've got Novaxes. Look at this. Mr. Blastman finishes the cheese satellite. Here we go.
Ion cannon charging. Ion cannon ready.
The defense satellite, aka the ion cannon, is charged today. Still some units here left to prevent additional drops. It's good to see. And we've got double, it kind of looks like a really weird face. With 2 eyes and a nose, but kind of retarded. The donuts are going to absolutely wreck the UEF Navy here. 4 shield boats don't do very well against donuts. Another spider moving across the causeway, and that loss, I think the loss of air has really cost them. They're losing ground in the bottom pond, they're losing ground in the middle, they're losing ground in the top pond for sure. Empyrean is making shield, so he's hardening his comm up really here. He has his own anti-nuke, which we'll mark. And another anti-nuke here. I assume we are going to see some nukes at some point. There's definitely some potential for nuking going on, though. This is such a good target for a nuke. And a Scathis queued up. So NoNa is going to be making a Scathis. He has big air advantage. Both their sides are pushing, so yeah, not a bad time to start a Scathis. The only problem is that your opponent is already going mass Novax by the looks of things. Is Mr. Science in trouble from this spider here? There's just so much reclaim. You'll see the comm running away in the background. I'm not sure that they can see the comm. They can see the comm. I'm not sure why they're not just immediately primarying Mr. Science here. Yes, he is the lowest rated player, but you got to think like that extra APM makes a big difference. When you suddenly have to do an additional job, another whole base, another technology that you have to look after, although it's Cybran, so it's not such a big deal for Mr. Blastman. It could be pretty demoralizing to lose teammates, so... So the glorious summits here are on defense. They are preparing to defend from the donuts, but, and it's a big but, the donuts have the same range as the summit. And that spider is just going to beam this base to death. Those poor Cerberus turrets don't really stand much of a chance at all. And on the map we can see a huge wave of torpedoes. Is that going for the T3 HQ? It is going for the T3 HQ. Oh man, look at that non-consensual action. Those torp bombers just running a train on that naval factory. That's just horrible to see.
What? What the fuck?
So the T3 HQ goes down, so does the battleship. It's just going to be sinking there. The guns fell off it, dearie me, that's not good. This is going to be, there's no way of holding this anymore. Another huge air fight this time. And it looks like NoNa just has more, to be honest. Over here, another spider. So we've got spider and air fight again. That's what the air fight is over. Another Corsair response. So I'm not sure if this was just what you did back then was to just Corsair spiders, but it's very effective looking at this. So the ASF were pulled off briefly. A smaller group of ASF come over here to deal with the Corsairs, which just straight up murder that Monkey Lord. And again, if only there were SAMs in this base. Building SAMs around is much more common now. I'm not sure if it was kind of a thing that wasn't done so much back in the day. Mr. Blastman says he's about to get stratted. Are you sure, buddy? I don't see any strats. Oh my goodness. The defense satellite is wrecking here. Oh my goodness, the chain reaction. I mean, this is a way back in. Definitely a way back in for Team 2. I mean, they're going to lose. It looks like they're going to lose all of this and all of this and all of this. But the defense satellites can cripple air. Maybe they can come back. The Scathers is now at 30%. It's going to be another explosion here. And another chain reaction. That entire air grid is dead. The entire air grid goes down. That's so expensive. How much value has that satellite got? It's 3.9k. I mean, that's clearly inaccurate. We've just seen it do at least 30k's worth of damage. We've got two cruisers here, which are parked in a good spot, about as good a spot as they can be, but they're about to die horribly to donuts. I mean, yeah, sad. And if Cold for Fear's comm is in here, he should probably think about leaving. Those two donuts like that will basically kill him in a single shot. Down goes the anti-nuke any second. Oh, it's gone. Shoot to kill is joining, well, maybe not. He's making a few more shields. How is that satellite doing? Well, it looks like it's going to do the same thing. NoNa is just getting wrecked by these satellites. His comm is here in the open. Where is his build power? He needs to be spamming shields to deal with this. Mr. Blastman says, Rock, how did you lose this? Well, it seemed to be going okay until he got dropped repeatedly. And talking of getting dropped repeatedly, it's the same thing.
But wait! There's more!
The 46-minute chariot drop. Oh. He just keeps doing it, and it just keeps working. I mean, why not, right? Oh, man. Empyrean is an absolute Chad. I mean, he just disregard Tech 3. Continue to make Tech 1 drops. What an absolute Chad. The amount of fire that's coming out here is absolutely disgusting. That's what's slowing the game down. All these shells everywhere. You have to remember, like, if we slow the game down right now, every single one of these projectiles is being simulated. That's why it's slowing the game down so much. All of them have a trajectory. It's just disgusting amounts of fire that they put out. It's simulating all of the projectiles and checking all the hitboxes of everything. That's why it's running so slowly. Oh no. Beam this? The power? Strats incoming. They are not strats, they are Tech 1 bombers, right? Mr. Blastman, what a good eye you have for these things. Well, we've had one satellite, yes. But what about second satellite and third satellite? It's satellites all day. This is the US Space Force. That's what we're building down here. And there's almost no defense to the first one. I mean, why, NoNa? Why is this? He's stalling so much mass. Why is he stalling so much mass? Because he's working on the Scathis. He really needs to pause the Scathis and make some shields. If he loses his build power, he's going to be in big problems. This is a desperate fight to survive down here. They've lost front, they've lost mid navy and north navy. But they're about to cripple air by the looks of things. I'm not sure why the Scathis is being built here. It's not like it can fire. This is the old patch where the Scathis has a really short range. It was originally patched out because it gave Cybran a really big advantage on like 10x10 maps, but made them really weak on 20x20. And obviously now in the most recent patch this week of FAF, the Scathis has the same range as the Mavor, so that's 5,000 units. So it basically fires across the entire map. Broadsword's brought in to deal with these battleships. Oh my goodness, Commander under attack. NoNa is getting beamed. The beamy boys are attacking him here. He's losing a shield. I think he can die to this. NoNa, what are you doing? You need shields. Make shields. You have build power. This is full share, right? The Scathis is nearly done. But you're gonna... No, this is such a sad death.
Draw your last pathetic card so I can end this, Yugi.
My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba. But it does contain the unstoppable Exodia. Impossible!
Mr. Blastman sends NoNa straight to the Shadow Realm with a single Novak satellite. Absolutely disgusting. His desire to finish the Scathis at all costs was possibly his downfall there. And the whole base transferred over to Shoot to Kill, who may or may not notice this Scathis. A ping goes out to assist it. Down goes the anti-nuke. Tech 1 bombers being used here, and the destroyers, obviously, we're talking about Cybran destroyers. What are they going to do? Well, they're going to get up on the beach and they're going to start walking. And they're already hitting damaging targets. Look, they're already killing mass fabs. Mr. Blastman up to 1.1k. So he's absolutely carrying the eco of Team 2 here. All these Tech 3 mass fabs. He has 20 Tech 3 mass fabs. The satellites are still beaming this base, as they probably should do. They're going to get the HQ and pick off these mass fabs. Just delete this completely is probably best, so it can't be used to rebuild. A massive scout wave going over for Mr. Blastman. There is a nuke ready, but not loaded yet. Now, where would you put that nuke? That's probably what they're scouting for, right? The Scathis finishes, and it's on a move command, but it can probably just get beamed. Wenzel asks for the air. He wants the air units to use himself. Well, there's a lot of torp bombers here, which are basically useless. Look at this destroyer just wailing on the base here. T3 engineers in production. Maybe a couple of oh, the actual artillery is not doing a bad job against the destroyers. Look. That's kind of working, to be honest. But they're both losing a lot of stuff here. Now we've got a loyalist push into the middle, and the ASF's crushing the Tech 1 bombers. Again, more of these destroyers. More destroyers climbing onto the land. They're evolving and growing legs, look. And the world's largest collection of antique cruisers. So many cruisers. So Empyrean's base is going to get torched by the looks of things by these satellites. Revenge for spamming Tech 1 transports all day. We've got missile ships and donuts in the bay. Donuts of the lake, what is your wisdom? Go for a snipe? Good plan. I think that's what they need to do. Mr. Science has lost his entire base. He is attempting to build a spider on +1 eco. Interesting. He could probably use a couple of these engineers to reclaim some of the 600,000 on the mass on the map instead. That might be more effective. T3 shields won't hold forever against satellites like that. Empyrean's comm is potentially beamable as well here, just on the beach. The problem is that these boats have such long range. Look at the range, it's all the way into the air grid from the bay. And they're not even as close as they could be. They can probably hit the anti-nuke. Four satellites here now. Is there a fifth coming? Well, there's a fifth Novak station, so there must be a fifth satellite somewhere. A ping goes out on the Scathis. Are they just going to kill it? Well, it's getting beamed. The Scathis has been seen. This thing is so expensive. What was it back in this patch? Well, it's a small 110,000 mass that costs. And it's just going to die to a satellite for free by the looks of things. Poor Wenzel's power is blinking, so he's got no shields. Yeah, a attack ping down there, so that's not going to go away. This satellite is very much just going to murder the Scathis there. Will the nuke get to launch? Well, it looks like it's almost 60%. Very large amount of loyalists here. Do we have a nuke down here? No, we don't. So the only player with a nuke is Cold for Fear. He's the only player to make a nuke by 52 minutes. There's a lot of scouts out everywhere as well. I think with the way the map looks, Team 2 has got to be looking for this snipe here. Tech 1 bombers killing these Salems. Shoot to kill finishes an experimental. What's that? I don't see what experimental he finished. The satellite's going to kill the Scathis. If they can just get the Scathis here, they can kill all of this. The Scathis was so strong back then. It's going to get beamed. Oh no, not the Scathis. It's so painful. Why are we here just to suffer? Yeah, poor Scathis is gonna die here. Satellite Chan? Where are you going? Oh, it still nearly killed it. Where is the satellite going? He's grouped all of the satellites. All of the satellites are in a control group. And he's moved them all here. Mr. Blastman, why would you do this? He grouped all the satellites, and just when it was going to kill the Scathis, he's moved it away. Mr. Blastman, you have missed a free kill of a Scathis.
My goals are beyond your understanding.
This Monkey Lord might actually finish somehow. The sheer amount of missiles here that come off these cruisers is basically impossible to stop. The Monkey Lord does complete.
Strategic launch.
And there's a nuke. Where is it going? Well, it's launching just in the bay. That doesn't seem like a very good value nuke to me. But I mean, I guess they have the satellites for all of this stuff. The satellites would quite easily be able to kill these boats. There's no way for them to escape. Is that nuke going to be value? That's the question. Because this is going to die to the... Run away! How many did he get? Well, 5 T3 missile ships. So that is worth 34k. So technically the nuke paid for itself. But the launching of that nuke has... he's been detected, so no longer will his cardboard box shield him from the incoming wrath of the donuts and the battleships. And you just get the sense that Team 2 are really on their last legs here. They've got these satellites which are doing great damage. But look at the eco. They have half the eco, and their map control is it's shrinking all the time. This could very easily have been killed off by the Navy. So they do have sight of potentially some comms. So they have some idea of where the comms are. That nuke is loading, and I guess that's where they'll fire it, is in this pond. That's a pretty smart choice. The satellites are beaming the power. It's like a survival game that Mr. Blastman is playing here. His poor spiders can't really do anything against the firepower of all the destroyers. There are just too many of them and too far away. It kills them quickly, but not quickly enough. Over here in poor the Cold for Fear's base, he's being overrun by loyalists. And it looks like he might lose his nuke. If he doesn't lose his nuke to the loyalist, he's gonna lose it to the donuts. A huge patrol route given by all of these cormorants, so they're gonna clean up all the Navy's factories as well. Did that do no damage? Or is the UEF just so strong? Oh, not the nuke. Where is the Scathis? Well, it's down here. The Scathis is on its way over here. By the looks of things. Maybe, maybe not. A megalith now, and the megalith I think will be much more effective than the spider was, because it's probably going to two-shot these. Yeah, three-shot them, and it can hide under the shield as well. So the top team is going to be unable to nuke, but they don't actually have any nukes anyway. In fact, neither team has a nuke, so I guess we should just remove the nuke circles for now. Clean up the view for everybody watching. This push on the land here is doing a lot of damage. Sam's going up at the back, that's pretty sensible. But it's under fire from the donuts. I'm not sure how long these shields will really hold it. Mr. Science says, goodbye, cruel world. He's being overrun by loyalists. He did manage to get one mechs. Imagine that. You spend 20 minutes building a single mechs, and then loyalists come and blow it up. Very sad. He's only got T3. He doesn't have gun. He doesn't have overcharge. He doesn't have laser or cloak. And he is going to go down at 56 minutes, just run over by loyalists. And this is now a 3v2. And will they also be able to get Cold for Fear? He has some of these Ravagers. He doesn't have gun. He does have overcharge. That megalith is actually getting dunked on because it's not in range. It actually gets outranged by the Salems. And it looks like it's gonna get stuck on a cliff here as well. I just had a whole bunch of Salem's cream on it there. That's probably a fetish somewhere.
Hey, stop! Why? I just don't get it. I always catch you fuckers watching this sick shit. This is sickening.
This base is not long for this world. The Scathis... Oh, the Scathis doesn't make it. The Scathis stopped here. Oh, Here we go, boys. The Bayblade of Doom. Nope, it's actually decided it's not going to do that. It's going to go... it's just going to decide that it's not going to... Doesn't feel like doing it today. It's just going to... yeah, just going to keep on moving. Mr. Blastman is actually holding, but he's losing, you feel like he's spending 100% of all of his time and effort here. The defense satellites, 5 of them, are actually pretty hard to stop at this point. Shoot to Killer's got enough eco and enough power that if he centralizes it and builds a few hives and gets them to assist the shields, I think he can hold out indefinitely. So this is really about how long Mr. Blastman can survive. And whether the satellites can really do anything, because all of the comms are in the water, right? I don't think the satellites can touch them. They're too deep. So they need to wait for a nuke, which they have got building. If they can nuke in the pond, and then the comms will have to walk out, right, to avoid the nuke, and then they get beamed. So they need to keep the shields up so that the comms can come under the shield for a bit for the nuke and then go back. I think that's the play here. And this is like baby turtles on the beach. Look, they get born and then they immediately die.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
It's a cruel world, being an interceptor at Tech 3. They get born so full of premise on the little beach island. And then off in the sea, obviously, look, the sharks are just waiting for their feast. Go on, you can do it. I believe in you, little interceptor. This time, you're going to make your break for freedom. It'll be fine. Yes, he's alive. Oh, so close. Don't worry, the next time, it will definitely work. There's a spider that's got in the back here. It's being dealt with by whalers. If only the air could clean that up, that would be great. There's a crab here protecting the anti-nuke. And where is that nuke? The nuke is 60%. Mr. Blastman with T3 and stealth. So shoot to kill could probably telly in here right now. There's a lot of PD. But he could telly in here and kill all of the satellites. There's so much little area that even a small telly somewhere would be devastating. This SACU just building SAMs out of the way. It's a smart move. So, Wenzel, 1k rated. Remember, he's the player I am rooting for. He brings in his air now and cleans up those whalers. The Scathis is firing on the beach. I remember in the old patch it used to do this like rapid fire T3 RT style thing where it just made a million holes. The biggest overkill ever, a Scathis and 2 donuts to kill these engineers. And the eco at the back here looks like it's going to get taken down as well. Cold for Fear claims GG. They think it's all over. Well, they're down half eco, and if you look at their map control, things are not looking good, are they? Things are definitely not looking good. This is when you need a desperate snipe to win the game, or at least make an attempt. Where is Cold for Fear's comm? Well, they're going for the snipe. Looks like the satellites have actually killed the anti-nuke. They have. So this could do it. You can see they're working on harms to protect from a torpedo comm. The nuke is away. A whole bunch of loyalists are getting in. Are they doing damage? Yeah, they are. They're taking power P-gens. Taking P-gens off of your opponent is always a good move. Kill shield when they come out of the water. NoNa says to kill his E and stop focusing the mexes. Well, I think they're probably on auto fire, but yeah, the Salem should be basically going for the reactors. This is an absolutely amazing vision tower here, and here comes the nuke.
Tactical nuke incoming!
SACU came out and it's going to get beamed. 2 remained in the pond.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Shoot to kill gets a nuke on his head. And that evens the game up at 2 players apiece. At 1 hour and 1 minute. And things are looking absolutely dire for Team 2 down here. They just have to hold on. They have to come up with another way to kill the comm in the water and in the water here. I don't really know how they're gonna... They haven't got air, so they can't make torpedoes. I mean, maybe a Cybran tele something? Teleport with T3 and spam torps? But this base, I mean, here's the second nuke is almost ready, look. It's being assisted with all the build power. Mr. Blastman has got no mass, but he's got loads of E. Some Tech 1 factories spamming engineers would probably be a good idea. Really hard to defend this sort of a cliff because... but also quite difficult to attack. Look, the... bricks at the top of the mountain. Look at the amount of... Oh, there's no way to stop this coming in. He needs to shield or he's going to lose his nuke. That might be the only way to win. The nuke is gone. If only they killed that Scathis, they might have kept the nuke for another load. Where is the Scathis now? Well, it's just chilling by the water. It's basically done enough. It's decided that it's going to retire from this world of professional FAF. So many destroyers. We've got 75 destroyers here. The satellites are hovering, but they can't do anything. He's in the water at the bottom of the ocean here. Cold for Fear is going to start telly on the UEF comm just with T3, so he's got no torp upgrade. He obviously can't. He can't have telly and Billy nuke. So it's just going to be a T3 comm by the looks of it, and he's going to be trying to make, probably trying to just teleport in and make torpedoes? Well, this base is done for. The nuke got rebuilt. My nuke vanished. Mr. Blastman, your nuke did not vanish. Your nuke got killed. It loaded and then went to 0. Actually, it died. So there was a bug where nukes could basically not fire, but that's been fixed in more recent FAF. But actually, we just saw your nuke disappear. Disappear due to the magic of destroyers. Not really sure why they're pulling back right now. I think he actually was about to crush. But the destroyers have been pulled back. There was very little to fight back, just these. He really needed a whole bunch of Ravagers, like million Ravagers would hold it for as long as they needed. We've got bugs being built by Wenzel. He's going to use his air advantage. That's a big brain play by him there. And we've got the Rasen gun here. The UEF going to teleport. Where is he going? Well, he's going in the ocean. Why have these... They need to attack. So they have been given a move over the forwards, but now there's extra Ravagers. A questionable decision to pull back at the last minute there. And send all of these loyalists right in as well. They could have killed off the satellites. There's also 2 spiders. Oh, that's what he was waiting for. My boy Wenzel was waiting for the... he was waiting for the spiders. Where is the comm here? Well, it's in the water. He's landed. Cold for Fear spamming water-style torpedo launcher jutsu. They're both making torps. They both see it. And Wenzel is really stuck here. He can't build torp launchers himself because they die to the satellites. And if he leaves the pond, he'll get beamed to death. Wenzel, you must kill the Novak stations. The spiders are not going for the Novak stations though, right? They're walking into the PD. If only he'd come this way, he could have killed them. He needs to move all of his units in and put the Scathis. The Scathis is firing on the base here. Tell the Scathis to fire at this. Move all units in. He might still live. If he's ready to leave, the satellites will die immediately. This is so close. He's got a little while longer. But he can't leave. If only these units were thrown in towards the satellites. Oh, Wenzel goes down. He gets sniped by Cold for Fear from the most unlikely of places. Look at the map control. This is desperate, desperate survival that's going on here. And it's just Empyrean left. Why the things haven't been transferred over to him, I don't know. It's full share and share on death, so I'm not sure why he hasn't been given the stuff there. He does have bugs. There's a bug sitting here. This could just come in and win the game. Oh, poor Empyrean. Is he not playing? Even without Empyrean, they might still lose to just this sheer weight of destroyers. They might just straight up lose. The satellites are going down, look. If only this had happened like 2 minutes earlier. Well, we're tellying again. Cold for Fear is going for another snipe.
Sniping's a good job, mate.
It's going to be on Empyrean, who has actually removed his shield and gotten himself teleporter.
Let's do this.
So here comes the torp launchers. Apparently he's AFK. I don't know why the yellow units haven't been transferred over. That doesn't make any sense to me. But there's just so many Salems. Mr. Blastman has no chance of surviving this. Even without the bug or the Scathis or the extra spider. Wenzel taking the martyrdom perk here is going to reach out from beyond the grave to kill Team 2. The Novaxes are going down. Another satellite about to fall out of the sky. Boom, there it goes. There's only 2 left. He can just walk away from the torpedoes. If he just walks here, I think they just win the game. If the units focus fire the satellites, I think he wins the game. But the torps are coming now, and if the units kill the torps, he can still win the game. This is so close. The crab is doing absolutely nothing. It's just treading on the destroyers. It's so close. But Empyrean, I think, is going to die. Mr. Blastman's getting horny. The base isn't going to die in time. Empyrean gets defeated by that Torp snipe. And the game is over to a team that has, at best, 3% of the map. What an absolute Chad play, teleporting over with a UEF comm. What an absolute lad. What a chonky boy of a UEF comm there. What a game. No wonder it's so highly rated. My goodness. Look at all the units. Look at all the cruisers. That's so sexy. I mean, that game could have gone either way so many times. Poor Wenzel. He had so many chances to win. I don't know why he pulled back his Salems. I don't know why he didn't send these in. I think he just needed to grab everything and just move it into the base. He had 2 bugs here. He had a Scathis that was AFK. Yeah, just... Oh, poor Wenzel. He had many opportunities to win the game. It was definitely Team 1's game to win, but they weren't able to do it, and that allowed the Chads down here, Mr. Blastman, who is going to be my MVP for just holding off and not giving up despite what his allies were saying. He's going to be my MVP for today, alongside Cold for Fear, who didn't give up and didn't get salty despite losing his whole base twice. Don't give up, people. You can pull a win off like this. I think if we're going to choose a Derp award today, it probably needs to be our poor AFK player, Empyrean. I loved his drops at the start. I mean, it just kept working, so he just kept doing it, and he crushed his opponent. He just kept dropping those things there. Just that radical trans agenda that was just far too much for poor Cold for Fear. He just couldn't deal with it. Just couldn't handle it. It just threatened his way of life, his traditional mechs building way of life. It's just too radical for him. So that's our game for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Now that I've finished recording this, I am going to spend the next 2 days editing in as much fun as I possibly can, so that hopefully it will be a game for everyone to watch and one to remember. Let's go and check out our scores quickly. But that's the plan. We're going to make casts on the Derp channel, which are ones you can save for later. You can watch them on the plane or on the train or something. And if it's in the Epic Casts playlist, you know it's going to be a great game, and you know I've going to have spent like 25 hours editing it in, so it's going to be good. It's going to be worth a watch. If you do have memes that you want to suggest, please let me know. I do take requests for making FAF memes. If you have a great game and you were in it and you want to co-cast it with me, and then I can do some editing afterwards, you can send that to me. You can use the emails on YouTube's. Let me know. Be happy to have a look. Also might be doing some casting for the Legend of the Stars tournament. If people want to see high level 1v1, I know some of you guys do. I will give it a shot and we'll see if it's popular. If it's popular and you like it, guess what? I'm going to make some more. But that's going to do it for today. Look at our charts here. Mr. Blastman, what an absolute Chad. Look at that score. At one point he had like 50 T3 mass fabs. It's just a shame. He just got crushed so hard by everyone. He was just surviving for hours. This game literally lasted, I mean, it's an hour and 7 in our time, but they were playing this for like 2.5 hours. This is back in the day, remember, before the FAF develop was running. So thanks very much for watching. I do appreciate all of you who turn up and watch. It does keep me going, keep making the videos. So thanks very much for that, and the positive comments and the feedback comments of what to improve. And until next time, I will see you in the future.
Play us out, royalty-free keyboard cat.